And we begin with this Fox News alert. Sexual harassment scandal engulfing New York Governor Andrew Cuomo has taken a new turn, a new level it's hitting in just the past few minutes. I'm Harris Faulkner. You are in the Faulkner Focus. House Judiciary Committee Chairman Jerry Nadler has just called on the governor of New York to resign, as our Democrat squad members, Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez and Jamal Bowman, both, just one day after this.
It's deeply troubling, the specific allegation that the governor called an employee of his, someone who he had power over, called them to a private place, and then sexually assaulted her, is absolutely unacceptable. It is disgusting to me. And he can no longer serve as governor.
So all of that means Governor Cuomo's own current office has referred a complaint of alleged sexual misconduct to Albany police as part of a state policy after a report that Cuomo, an aide, alleged she was groped by the governor. Now more than half of all New York lawmakers are calling for Cuomo to resign or be impeached. State Assembly Democrats have taken the first step toward impeachment investigation. And Cuomo continues to deny the allegations. The New York Post is out with this cover page. Take a look. The headline, Cuomo must go. Brian Yanis, live for us in Brooklyn, New York. Brian.
Harrison, in a statement, New York Representative Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez and Jamal Bowman say that the latest allegation of groping from that sixth accuser is, quote, alarming. And they say it raises the concerns about the present safety and well-being for the administration staff's safety. Now, they say they have concluded amid these sex misconduct allegations and the nursing home scandal that Governor Cuomo can no longer effectively lead and should resign. And in a statement, New York Representative Jerry Nadler and the chairman of the House Judiciary Committee wrote this, quote, the question before us is squarely a political judgment. Governor Cuomo has lost the confidence of the people of New York. Governor Cuomo must resign. And this is different than what we heard just yesterday from Senate Majority Leader Chuck Schumer, who has not gone that far yet. Listen.
The allegations of these women are very, very troubling. The one last night was particularly nauseating. They all must be looked into. I've always strongly been against sexual harassment. It cannot be tolerated.
So he is still calling on these allegations to be investigated. And the first accuser, Lindsey Boylan, had something to say about that. She said, I'm tired of leaders in my own party calling allegations against our governor nauseating and hard to read. Imagine what it is like to experience these things, knowing that many won't care until they are forced to care. Take time to sit with yourselves and who you are. So obviously, that is her saying that Schumer and other leaders should be saying that Cuomo should resign right now. The count is about at least 120. That is the majority of lawmakers calling on Cuomo to resign or to be impeached. This impeachment, by the way, the investigation launched yesterday by the Democratic-controlled state legislature. They will have full subpoena power, and they will focus on the sex misconduct and the nursing home scandals. Republican leader, the Assembly Speaker here in New York, Will Barclay, released a statement after this announced impeachment investigation, saying this: Republicans have called for impeachment investigations for weeks. Now that Democrats have finally recognized the need, the committee's work must move expeditiously, and it must provide a deadline, details, and the defined process this investigation will take. Obviously, Republicans worry that this is a delay tactic by Democrats just trying to help Cuomo buy some time. Meanwhile, the Albany Police Department tells us that they have not received a criminal complaint against Governor Cuomo over that groping allegation just yet, Harris, but they have offered their services to the victims, the alleged victim's lawyer, in case that she may be willing to move forward on that front. Harris?
You know what? Let's unpack this for a bit, because for the last 20 or 25 minutes or so, this has been rapidly changing, and we saw this again yesterday, too. So now there's a report, I understand, from the governor's office that the governor's office may have tried to discredit, I should say, the first accuser, the one you were just talking about, Lindsey Boylan. So a report that Cuomo's office may have gone after her. What is that about?
Yeah, so the Wall Street Journal is reporting that it was a coordinated effort by Cuomo's top aides to call people in and around, staff members, and even other accusers about Lindsey Boylan. And the Wall Street Journal piece reads in part that the governor's office called at least 6 former employees either to find out if they had heard from the accuser or to glean information about her in conversations that some said they saw as attempts to intimidate them. And Lindsey Boylan sent out a tweet saying that in fact, essentially alluding to the fact that it was indeed an attempt to intimidate her into silence. You know, Harris, the Cuomo's office has not responded to us directly, but they did tell the Wall Street Journal that ultimately, this was not some sort of coordinated effort, that they were just trying to get some information.
Well, we will see. Because if there are receipts in the form of emails and the like, we'll soon know the truth. I mean, that's the one thing about all of this. When you get this many people involved as potential victims, the story is so much as it should be about what has happened with them. And if there are pieces of evidence, hopefully we will see them. In the meanwhile, Brian Yanis, always on the story intrepidly. Thank you very much. I appreciate the update.